on Wuzurike, 6th in the Commonwealth Games in 22. Zarnell Hughes, the silver medalist on that day, man who lives and trains in Kingston, Jamaica, but belongs to Shaftesbury Bonnet Harriers, North London club. James Dadsey of Ghana goes in lane 4, good lane draw for him. 20.3 this year. He's a 1979 form at his best. Chris Taylor goes for Jamaica in 3, 6th in the Olympic Games in Tokyo back in 1991. Curon Griffith of Barbados goes in lane 2. Semi-finalist in the 100 here. Wanye Bell of the British Virgin Islands goes on the inside. World Junior Championship 100 metre performer back in 2022. He was a semi-finalist at the NCAA Championship a few weeks back in Eugene, Oregon, in the USA. On the Nigerian, on Wuzurike, 20.18 this year. Hughes inside him, Zarnell Hughes goes in lane 5. And Hughes is the British record holder with 19.73. That was 3 years ago now. Very consistent, Zarnell Hughes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the semi-finals Commonwealth 2026. Being represented with different countries with different competitors. Jamaica being represented by Christopher Taylor. Nigeria being represented by Muthariki. And we have Joseph Amoah and Javan Pearl, who showed a live sprinting how it can be. Now, this race will be a very tough race because it is being separated by only 20 seconds performance in the semi-final. So, these semi-finals will show you how tough the finals will be because we don't know how it will be because we have one bend, one straight, and one opportunity whereby only one person is the one to get gold. So, which country do you think will win? Welcome to the channel and remember to like, subscribe, and share. The original credit goes to the original creator of this video. I'll be coming back with more reaction and commentary. Thank you.
Nice conditions in the arena. Still, of course, a breeze. Should be behind them down the home straight. Now, let's have a look at those reaction times. Can't actually see that anybody broke the rules there, set off early. Looking at their reaction times, I think maybe that was a faulty start. The camera focusing on Orotile there on the outside. Have a look at it again. You spot anything there, Danny?
It does look like Orotile, doesn't it? Just gets the jump on them and on the gun. Very, very fractionally, but we'll wait to see what the officials come back with.
Well, the readout doesn't indicate that he full started, so I don't think he did. He might have got a great start, but that's might be a shame for him if he did get a superb start. He was the quickest away, although the reaction time only tells half the story. Yeah, thought so. Green card, just a faulty start. Nobody having the finger pointed at them. So for the second time of asking then, they have to settle into their blocks very shortly for this first semi-final of 3 in the men's 200 metres. They ran their heats yesterday morning, many of them competing in the 100s on Tuesday evening. They've had 24 hours indeed, more like 30 hours plus to prepare for this. Bell of the British Virgin Islands goes in 1. Griffith of Barbados in 2. Taylor of Jamaica 3. James Dadsey of Ghana in 4. Zarnell Hughes of England in 5. The silver medalist 4 years ago. And Wuzurike of Nigeria in 6. Murphy in 7. Orotile on the outside in 8. This time they get away. Really good running there in lane 4 from James Dadsey. A little slow to get into his running. Zarnell Hughes there in the red and white of England has got some work to do here. Also really great from Chris Taylor in lane 3 there for Jamaica. Zarnell Hughes to really pour it on here. He's going to get run right out of this one. Remember, it's only the first 2 are going through by right. And that is it. First 2 plus 2 non-automatic qualifiers from the 3 semis. And that winning time, 20.20. And I do wonder if fresh legs are counting for a lot here in Scotland today. Well, it's been given to Chris Taylor, 20.20 from lane 3. He started wonderfully. He ran 20.36 for second in his heat yesterday. He's just run 20.20. The win plus 3.5 behind them. It's way over the limit. The other qualifier on was Orike of Nigeria. Great run from him, 20.22, really tight at the line. And then Orotile on the outside, the youngster, third with 20.47, and James Dadsey of Ghana, the other man in the non-automatic qualifying positions at the moment with 20.52 in fourth.
Christopher Taylor coming out of lane 3 gets an absolutely blistering start and runs a beautiful bend as he transitions into the home straight. On was Orike out there in lane 6. Just positions himself beautifully as he comes into the home straight. But Zarnell Hughes was found wanting then. He was just going backwards in the home straight. He just didn't seem to get into the race, did he, Tim? From the moment the gun went, he just couldn't get on the tail of on Orike.
No, he got a poor start. Christopher Taylor would have been in his field of vision very quickly because the Jamaican just inside him to his left got away so quickly. Dadsey was quick too. And yeah, very Zarnell Hughes like 6th place there, 20.67. He's run almost a second quicker than that. He's run about 8 meters quicker than that, albeit 3 years ago. Well, there's the fellas in the hot seats. Orotile and Dadsey for Botswana and Ghana, respectively. And a confirmation of Chris Taylor's win there with a strong win behind him, 20.22, just ahead of Onwuzurike from Nigeria.
Scott Lincoln stepping up for round 1. And then shot put. He's the bronze medalist last time out in Birmingham. Big move last year, left his base in York to go to Australia in the quest of consistency and more medals. He's just the shot bounced up towards 21 metres here. But where did it land? Just short, but not too far short of 21 metres. The lead is with Tom Walsh, 21 metres and 3 centimetres, which Walsh himself, two-time champion, will know he's got to improve on if he wants to get his 3rd consecutive gold. Lincoln, 20 metres, 70. That's enough for 2nd place at the moment for the Englishman. Takes us to the 2nd Indian in the field, Rajindapal Singh Tor. The Indian #1 Asian record holder. Could be looking at our 3rd man over 20 metres here in Tor. I love the way these guys rotate so fast, and particularly when it gets faster with every rotation, and Tor building that momentum from the back of the circle.
Well, we're 1 200 metre semi down, 2 to come. Tor there, 20.06. That's not a bad opener at all. He's got a bit of improvement to do yet if he wants to stay amongst the medals, I fancy.
2nd semi-final of the men's 200. You can see the athletes in the outer 4 lanes. They were all given a bye here. Well, that's not... I think one of the athletes says we've had a late replacement with Jackson Clark, so that graphic not totally right. But Caleb Law of Australia goes here in lane 8. He got a bye thanks to a brilliant 2021 that he ran over at the start of the season. But Jackson Clark of Guyana, he would have thought he missed out on this by 100, but he's replaced Israel Okun, the Nigerian athlete, not starting here. Muthinkulo of South Africa will go in 6th, new lifetime best of 2011 the other day. Prince Selepe of Botswana in 5, silver at the African Championships, and then 20.01 at the Doha Diamond League. It's Javon Powell of Jamaica, regular in their 4x4 squad. Joseph Amoa of Ghana will go in lane 3, 9.92 this year. He looked very good winning his heat yesterday. Nganga Gora from Gabon goes in lane 2, African finalist this year. And the final athlete in lane 1 Animesh Kaur of India, their national record holder, 20:32. He won his heat, the Indian did yesterday, in a season's best. So 5 out of the 8 of the athletes here did run yesterday. Got a feel for the track, and then we've got fresh legs with the likes of Caleb Law, Muthan Kulu and Selepe. They settle into their blocks. Reminder, it's first 2 across the line automatically. Chris Taylor and Omuzariki running very well in the previous race, down to 20.2 seconds with a strong following wind. The very first time here in the second semi-final. Lots of talented athletes. The one's fastest on paper on the outside here, but it's the Jamaican Javon Powell that's moving well in the middle of the field. Joseph Amoa going with him. Amoa looked very good winning his heat yesterday. He's going to come under pressure here in the last 50 metres. The Guyanan holding strong just to the line. Been credited with 20.24 and a 2.0 following win. That would equal his season's best. And it just looked a little bit a bit casual in the last 10 metres from Joseph Amoa. It was similar yesterday, wasn't it? And they ran a very good 180 and then decided that was probably going to be enough, but Javon Powell didn't give up till the end with only 2 spots available for the final automatically, and the Jamaican was chasing as well. He had to run every inch of the track he had available to him.
Yeah, the Ghana athlete Joseph Amoa, as you rightly said, Hannah, he ran a magnificent bend. And he was just easing down into the end. But just coming through really, really strong was Powell and Selepe. They were driving all the way to the finish. He just shut down a little bit too early for me. That was a little bit too relaxed as they come off the bend. Amoa just comes into the home straight from lane 3, just ahead of the rest of the field. And at this point, he just starts to step off the gas a little bit. And you can see Selepe and Powell just coming through to his right-hand side, our left, as we look at him.
Well, it was a furious dip to the line from Javon Powell, opposed to Joseph Amoa's slightly chilled. I mean, he's working hard. I don't think he shut it down, but he just didn't dip. And that's a big part of sprinting.
He just cruised through, didn't he?
And I'll tell you what, I can see on the computer system here that Joseph Amoa, the Ghanaian here on the right-hand side of the screen, has been given the win, but by 2 1/1000ths. That will give him a great lane draw when we look towards the final. But it was almost a different story. This has been the fastest race so far in terms of the depth. We saw Prince Selepe and Muthan Kula replace the faster athletes from the fastest athletes from the previous heat. They are the 2 time qualifiers at the moment on 20:31 and 20:39. Look at that. I love that from Javon Powell. We've got to look out for him when we go to the final. He's a big part of the Jamaican 4x4 squad, and I think that strength over the longest of the sprints showing at the end of the 200.
He'll be happy he just got away with that one.
Confirmed result of semi-final 2. Joseph Amoa by 2 1/1000ths gets the win from Javon Powell. They're the automatic qualifiers. 1 semi-final left to go.
So, Chukwuebuka and Okwechi steps into the circle. Then round 2, the Nigerian silver medalist back in 2018, 4th 4 years ago in this shot put final. That's a nice second heave. He opened with 19 metres 60. He's capable of so much more. He is a 22-metre thrower. Indeed, he's been in great form around 21.5 metres in his last half dozen or so shot put competitions. So he knows something big is in there. He really is in the competitive groove, so to speak. 5th in the World Championships last year, and that's a nice second heave from Okwechi. 20 metres 48 puts him up into 3rd place. So semi-final 3 then. Emmanuel Aseme, the winner of the 100 metres 2 nights ago in 9.83. He goes in lane 1. And right on the outside, well, the silver medalist in that 100 metres, the Australian Lachlan Kennedy, 9.85. He ran for an Australian record. He was second in the world indoors last year, the Australian champion at 100 this year. He will start fast. Can he hold them off? In lane 7 there, inside him, Dumbile of South Africa, 8th in the world championships last year. Aaron Brown goes in 6th for Canada, semi-finalist last year, Canadian champion. There's Mustafa Bokpin from Ghana, 4th in the NCAA's 200. That's not to be sniffed at. Rashawn Clark of Jamaica goes in lane 4. 3rd in the Jamaican championships. Jaleel Kroll of British Virgin Islands won his heat yesterday in 20.53. Very close to his season's best. Zablon Kwam. He was second in the 200 heat yesterday in 20.73. That was yesterday morning, when I think he was entitled to feel a little bit tired and maybe a little bit stiff and sore after the 100 late the previous evening. It was far from ideal having to race before midday yesterday, having won the 100. He was 5th at the World Indoors back in Torun in March. So the gold and silver medalists in the 100 2 nights ago, bookending this field. Semi of Cameroon, the champion in 1. Kennedy, the silver medalist in the 100, goes on the outside in lane 8. Really tight bend for Semi to try and negotiate their topper picture in the red in lane 1. He's gone off pretty well though, has Lachlan Kennedy on the outside, also going really well. Inside him is the South African Dumbile. Dumbile possibly leading into the straight now, but it's going to be really tight. Watch Semi on the inside there, but look at the way they're pulling away now. Dumbile and the Canadian inside him. Brown taking 1 and 2 there. 19.82 and the win just over the legal limit. 2.3. Dumbile. What a shame. What a shame that it was just over that legal limit. Dear oh dear. It was very, very quick indeed. That second semi-final, 20.24. Well, in the second semi-final, we'll have to look at the non-automatic qualifier positions. Dumbile 1982, Brown 1990, Kennedy and Asemi. Well, Asemi doesn't go through. He misses out by 1/100th of a second. Kennedy, 2012, will go through, the quickest of the non-automatic qualifiers, along with Prince Selepe of Botswana, who was 3rd in the second semi-final. 2031 he ran. So Asemi unable to go for the double.
Dumbile was up on Lachlan Kennedy as they come out of the stagger. But just look on the inside, the Canadian, Aaron Brown, the 34-year-old, just powering through and following Dumbile all the way through. Unfortunately, we lost Roshan Clark as well during that race. He pulled up. But Dumbile looked superior there, didn't he? He looked so relaxed as he comes into the home straight.
Yeah, the South Africans in really good form, and when you think they are Southern Hemisphere athletes like so many of the others, the Aussies and the Kiwis, they've had their own Southern Hemisphere season back in what is obviously the Northern Hemisphere winter, but they are peaking brilliantly, so many of the South Africans and the Australians for these championships. There it is, 19.82 and 9.90, just over the legal limit, the wind at plus 2.3. Lachlan Kennedy goes through with that 20.12. He recovering a little bit better perhaps than Asemi, although he was in lane 8, which is a big advantage with those gentle sweeping bends. Asemi quite the opposite in lane 1 in that 3rd semi-final.
Real shot there, seeing Emmanuel Asemi exit. It was so brilliant in that one.
Wow, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I believe you have enjoyed the videos and you have already subscribed. Now, from the videos, I believe that you have seen how the competitors, they tried their best to make sure that they produce the best of their own. Now, from Jamaica, we have Christopher. This man did his best. Christopher Taylor, he makes his statement to come true. In the first semi-final, he produced a confident performance from Jamaica. For Jamaicans, I mean. So Taylor did not need to look desperate from the start. Instead, he demonstrated control and composure, navigating the bend effectively before building his momentum into the home straight. Taylor crossed the finish line in 20 minutes and in 20.20 seconds, winning the semi-final and sending an early message to the rest of the field. Nigeria had Muthariki, who also delivered an impressive performance, finishing extremely close behind in 20.22 seconds. The difference between the first and second was only 0.02 of a second. So, these people, they did their best. That tells you everything about the level of competition. There is no room for mistakes at this stage of the championship. The second semi-final, a finish decided by 2 thousandths. No, if the first semi-final demonstrated controlled speed, the second showed just how brutal the margin can be in championship sprinting. Joseph Amoah of Ghana narrowing edge out Jamaica's Javon Paul, with the difference between the athletes reportedly just 2 thousandths of a second. Think about that. After running 200 meters at a maximum intensity, the athletes were separated by an almost invisible margin. Both men secured their places in the final, but the results underlined one of the most important realities of elite sprinting. Sometimes there is absolutely nothing between victory and disappointment. For Amoah, the result provides enormous confidence heading into the final. For Pearl, qualifying despite such a narrow result means Jamaica still has another major contender ready to challenge for the medals. Semi-final, the third one, was the fastest race of the night, whereby there came the third. This was where the competition truly exploded. South African's Danville produced the fastest performance of the semi-final, stopping the clock at an impressive 19.82 seconds. Breaking the 20 seconds barrier at this stage is a huge statement. And he was not alone. Canada Aaron's Brown also delivered an outstanding run, finishing in 19.90 seconds. Two athletes under 20 seconds in a semi-final immediately changes the atmosphere surrounding the final. The message is clear. Nobody can afford to underestimate this field. The athletes who qualified from the earlier semi-finals now know exactly what kind of speed they will have to deal with. Why the 200 meters is about more than speed. One of the biggest lessons from these semi-finals is that the 200 meters is not simply a test of raw speed. The race begins on a curve, and that curve demands excellent technique. An athlete can have incredibly straight line speed, but if they attack the bend incorrectly, they can lose valuable momentum. The transition from the curve into the home straight is equally important. This is where athletes must remain relaxed while gradually increasing their efforts. Too much tension can destroy running efficiency. Too much caution can leave an athlete with too much ground to recover in the final meters. And then there is the mental battle, where when you know that the difference between qualifying and elimination can be just a few thousandths of a second. Maintaining composure becomes absolutely critical. The sub 20 seconds barrier raises the stakes, whereby the biggest story becoming out of this semi-final is the emerge of sub 20 seconds performances. Danville's 19.82 and Aaron Brown's 19.90 have raised expectation for the final. A time under 20 seconds is traditionally a major benchmark in men's 200 meters sprinting. Now, the athletes who qualified with times around 20.20 seconds and 20.22 seconds know they will probably need an even stronger performance when the medals are on the line. But that's what makes the final so unpredictable. A semi-final is about qualifying. The final is about winning. An athlete who looked relaxed in the semi-final may unleash another level when the medals are available. That means we should expect a much more aggressive race. A brief look at the shot put. The sprinting action was not the only competition attracting attention. The men's shot put also provided some interesting moments, with athletes including Scott Lincoln and Chukwuebuka Akweti featuring in the competition. While the shot put requires completely different physical qualities from sprinting, the same principle applies. Championship competition is about performing when the pressure is greatest. Every throw matters. Every sprint matters. And every athlete knows that one exceptional performance can change the entire story of a championship. What to expect in this final? So, what we should be expecting in the men's 200 meters final is that the first is expect an extremely fast race with a 19.82 and a 19.90 already recorded in the semi-final. The possibility of multiple athletes challenging the 20 seconds barrier in the final is very real. Second, watch the bend. The athlete who manages the curve efficiently could put themselves in the perfect positions before the straight. And finally, watch the final 50 meters. That is where the medals could be decided. The field is packed with athletes who have already demonstrated that they have to speed to contend. But only one athlete will finish first. That is the final thing. Now, the men's 200 meters final at the 2026 Commonwealth Games have set up a final field with anticipation. Christopher Taylor showed control for Jamaica. Mutharike demonstrated Nigeria's strength. Joseph Amoah and Javon Pearl showed just how close a light sprinting can be. And Danville and Aaron Brown raised their bar with spectacular sub-20 seconds performance. Now, everything comes down to one race, one bend, one straight, one opportunity, and the athletes cannot afford to relax, because at this level, a tiny mistake can cost a medal, and a perfect race can create Commonwealth Games history. So, who do you think will win the men's 200 meters final? Will South Africa continue its momentum? Can Jamaica strike back? Will Canada challenge for the top spot? Or will another athlete produce the performance of the championship? Let me know your prediction in the comments. Thank you for your time. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and continue sharing with your friends and family.